This is Changemakers with Katie Gore, finding the right solutions for the affordable housing community.
I'm back with changemaker Bejoy Narayana, the founder of Bob.ai, which creates software to support functions that are currently done offline. We've been discussing how Bob.ai helped the Dallas Housing Authority launch a new artificial intelligence-based module for the Housing Choice Voucher program, really helping the clients, the landlords, and manage the request for tenancy approval process, and then document all of that online. Now, Bejoy, is there a way your technology can also impact homelessness?
Well, homelessness net is a supply question, right? There have to be enough units available to. So inefficiencies that a home is remaining there. And if you go back to the previous example of Dallas Housing Authority, one apartment there is a low affordable housing apartment that is waiting for 6 weeks for an inspection to happen. That 6 weeks, somebody's homeless, and that's really important, right? Out of 3 years, 6 weeks, if we're just waiting for that, like that lack of occupancy there, yes, in that sense, it's a meaningful contribution that the process efficiencies can actually lead to greater supply because you're not keeping units up empty.
Okay. And that's an interesting piece too, not just housing people who are in tight markets or trying to access and find housing, but, we often don't realize what's happening to the person in their lives if they are homeless and waiting for 6 weeks. So that's a unique inclusion here. You guys are a tech company, but you also have this unique social mission. How do you describe yourself, when you talk to your friends and family? How do you describe your company?
Yeah, my friends and family would think that, we took a unusual industry. I used to work in automotive and retail and things like that, which everyone understands. And then it's really easy to create a consulting company if you provide a high-end. So it's a lot of it's much easier to create a profitable company there. But I do understand that this has a major impact. It's actually going to mean something. If we can really create, there is a need for an Airbnb for assisted rentals. And this is the primary way that our government is intervening to avoid homelessness. It's like it is in rentals. Like public housing is not the primary mechanism in the US, Canada, or Western Europe. Right? It's essentially people need choices, and it's a public-private partnership. So somebody needs to create a platform where these clients and the private housing providers and the government agencies can come together. Airbnb is a two-sided platform. This is a three-sided platform. So, which makes it far more complicated to build, but that need to be built.
Are there other regulatory or policy changes that you think could better support some of Bob.ai's goals?
From our own goals perspective, if you look at our customers, most of them don't have any credit score or they have very poor credit, right? So the way the platform can be really useful on a longer-term basis is really to allow the housing authorities to have those kind of services easily built. They can have programs to help their clients build credit over. It takes time. And those sort of things, interventions by Freddie and Fannie, that they actually invest in it, partner with the housing authorities. So that would be really meaningful. So if there is more coordination at the policy level, that there is a orchestrated effort to involve every player so that people can move to homeownerships, which is a long-term hard project to do, but that would be very helpful to our platform. Everyone is trying to do it piecemeal, but if there is more coordination at the policy level, and where housing authorities are the central players, like coordinating everything, that I think would make a big impact, not just to us, but to outcomes in general.
Are there other emerging technologies that you are watching or monitoring for future innovation, or do you see AI as being kind of the prime and center right now?
It's the prime and center right now. So that's, once you have, first of all, that either you should build a web and mobile app that works where all transactions can be done, or if somebody had already built it, that would have been really useful. That is needed. You cannot really have AI services delivered unless you have, if things are being done on paper, you can't have AI. So the prerequisite should be there. After that, I think AI is front and center. Maybe there is some use cases for blockchain and things like that, which we need to look at it, and some use cases for it. But by a very large margin, AI is what we focus on.
When you first started to implement this at the Dallas Housing Authority and even some of the others in your portfolio that are using this, what was the reaction by the stakeholders?
This is a difficult project. I'm not saying it because we are doing it. There is going to be a large number of clients who cannot use internet apps. So that is a reality. And every time you try to move from paper to an online application, the needs of that 30% clientele would overwhelm the PHA. That is why one of the reasons why true web applications are not there in this industry. So you have to build many tools so that many bells and whistles in the product so that the PHA can do it. You have to bring in then the VA, the big player, COC, Housing Navigator organization. All of them need to be brought into the software so that everyone can help addressing that problem. That is the thing that makes it really hard. So to answer your question, the reaction is always, this is amazing. But then the hard work starts. People really not able to log in, people who have forgotten their password, people who cannot actually understand how to download a mobile app. But our customers are early adopters, so you can look at them and you can see these are the decision makers and executives who really are forward thinking and they're not taking the easy path. Staying on paper is the easy path, really. It's hard to say, but it is really the easy path because you cannot say that about many other industries. Like staying on paper is not the easy path for an automotive company, or that's not, because their users can easily adopt it and they are already used to it. But that's changing. Even in the 5 years that we have been in business, we can clearly see it changing. There are 70% of the people who are super comfortable with using a mobile app because they've been using social media apps and they use other products. So that percentage is changing. And it's already late for, this is a hard problem, but in my opinion, housing authorities should just adopt it. You cannot just work with a finance solution, with an integration to pick, you need a product where you can do all these things, and the mountains of paperwork that you do, that has to stop. It should be on the server somewhere, all your HAP contracts or RFTs or your relocation requests, everything, all your portability requests, recertifications, everything should be electronic and you should get off paper.
So what is your vision for evolving Bob.ai over the long term? And maybe how do you see your opportunities to scale nationally now?
I'm a bit hesitant to say this, but I think it is true. You can correct me if it's not. There isn't anyone else actually offering a software solution on many fronts. First of all, there isn't any basic software that would do relocations or portability or rental adjustments. I'm talking about just basic software that does it. That does not exist now. So we are the only ones who are providing that. Then second, there isn't anyone else who is offering a marketplace, meaning you can sign up and then you can get access to 32,000 properties in there. So that does not exist. You can create one account and interact with multiple pages. That marketplace side of it, think Airbnb, that does not exist. And then there isn't anyone offering any AI services. And it cannot be offered also because the products do not have any API. So how will you offer any AI services? And there also we are the only ones. So I don't see scaling as a problem because at the moment we don't have any competition. So it's a question of just making everything work, and then people would want it. There would be the bell curve. There would be early adopters and people who are forward thinking, and then people, CEOs, executive directors who are more tech savvy. They're reading up on things and all that. That portion will be there, but everyone would follow. I actually would not mind if there is one more company building it like this. It's needed, and the market is large enough.
I'm curious how you came up with the name Bob related to Bob.ai.
Katie, I mean, this is a funny story, okay? So the original name of the consulting company was Bootstrapper. Bootstrapper is an Afrikaans name. So in Afrikaans, it means messenger. So I was in IBM. I was looking to start a company, and I said, okay, it doesn't really matter, right? We are going to large customers, and they're buying, like, you're going to have 4 or 5 customers. Name and all doesn't matter. I just needed a name where I don't have to pay for the domain. But it was all going to be conversation based. The idea was that we would not have any user interfaces. Everything would be a conversation based. And that is the kind of services that we would. So I went with Bootstrapper, which means messenger in Afrikaans. The way I found it, the name is, I looked for messenger and then looked at all, translated that into different languages, and then, oh yeah, it works, and that it was that simple. But the problem is, then we got into housing authorities, and nobody could pronounce it. My name was difficult enough, and Bootstrapper, I won't tell you how people were like making up names for it. No, like Bootstrapper was such a strange name. Our clients couldn't. So somebody in support would spell it out to them. They would say something else. Oh, is it bookkeeper, or like things like that. And then we knew that we had to change. So that around that time, we raised our seed round. So we were going to the VCs, and we told them, okay, we're going to change the name of the company. And that was one of the things. So as soon as we closed the round, we changed the name too.
Well, the points for creative genius related to Messenger, but the ease of Bob.ai, you're right, is so much better, and it sort of personalizes it a little. We've talked about several things. Is there anything else you want to highlight before we close out?
I'm extremely grateful to many people who are our early adopters. So I didn't know anything about the industry, and my co-founder didn't know even as much side. So we were only technology focused guys who came to the industry. And one thing I found is, like in this industry, you can always find people who would give you time. When I worked on many industries, who are willing to give you time and explain things to you. And I'm sure they are also judging you. And if you could then do your own reading and learn it quickly, then they actually give you contracts too. So it is an easy industry that way. Like you can find people who are open minded. So I'm extremely grateful to the early partnerships and early customers, and then the opportunity to learn and build something meaningful. And of course, you are interviewing me now, right? So you found us. So there are people who are trying to innovate, and I get a lot of calls from people who are working on various aspects of upward mobility. Could be universal basic income, or it could be just housing itself, or it could be credit building. Like people who want to collaborate on our platform. And I know the platform can be built to include everyone's services, like not everyone's, like services that are focused on upward mobility. And we do see ourselves as like a small part of the people on the solution side. Like we do have problems in this country, right? So there has to be a solution to the extreme differences in income and inequalities and all that. So we'd like to think that we are part of the solution on that, PHSR, and we are true. Those are things that I'm grateful for, like opportunity to work here, and partnerships and friendships that we have made.
What's definitely making a social impact on the affordable housing industry and bringing the technology and innovation to a next level, but it's really hitting at the cores, not just of efficiency, but really getting people into units faster, finding units faster, just moving that process along, helping them in their time of need. So, there's the social piece and social responsibility of what we're supposed to be doing. But if we don't have the technology to do it, how can we adequately do this? And so that's what's so unique about what Bob.ai and what you're doing here. So, we have a lot of listeners in the housing authority realm. I know that they're going to be very curious as to what's going on, and hopefully reach out with some innovation goals themselves.
Yeah, I look forward to hearing ideas. Like almost everything we built is someone else's idea. Like someone in the housing authority was told us, oh, this would be a cool idea. Of course, we build on it.
Right.
And we take it and make it programmable, like writing code on it. And I look forward to hearing those ideas and then building them.
Bejoy, this has been very insightful, and I thank you for your time and thank you for what you're doing in the affordable housing industry.
Thank you, Katie. Have a good day.
Thanks for listening to Changemakers with Katie Gore. To find out more about Katie, go to quadel.com. That's QUADEL.com. This has been a production of Forbes Books Radio.